Caught in a vice-like grip for what I thought then was an eternity, I pondered whether to stay still or fight back and risk losing my life, literally. One wrong move and I would be dead. It was 30 minutes to midnight, but the glazed look in his eyes showed no mercy as he tried once again to put me in my place. His left arm around my neck, choking off my air. His right hand ruthlessly pulling at the roots of my hair. I didn't even feel the cold, hard concrete as he bashed my head against the wall. I was too busy trying not to struggle in order to keep alive. I could have died in his hands on that horrible Christmas Eve in 2004. Come to think of it, I could have died in his hands any day before that. Many people believe that since you make your own bed, you have no choice but to sleep in it. 35 years ago, fresh out of high school and hardly into the routine of college life, I became an unwitting victim of intimate relationship violence. At 16, when most girls celebrate their social introduction into the real world, I was already experiencing snippets of manipulation and control that I mistook for love. My innocence and naivete made me the perfect prey for a man 4 years my senior, who I wrongly assumed knew all the great ways of the world. For one so young and so vulnerable, there was no way out. The next 24 years found me locked in a veritable cycle of abuse, forgetting that I was once upon a time a force to be reckoned with in school, a consistent honor student, school leader, college muse, perhaps even a role model to others who may have looked up to me then. In my abuser's clutches, each day was a struggle to remain perfect in his eyes, in order not to be hurt physically, emotionally, or sexually. Each day, I lost a vital part of myself as I desperately tried to change and discard the real me in order to please him. Each day, I questioned my confidence and my abilities, yearning for respect, recognition, and acknowledgments that did not come. Each day, fear was the order of the day, and I was not allowed to speak for myself nor for my children. Trapped on the bed I made and had to sleep in, I tried desperately to find a semblance of the girl I was before. I became a broken-winged bird that could not fly, yearning to be free. The awakening came in the form of a book entitled Journey by Daniel Steele. It spoke to me clearly about how deeply I was entrenched in a relationship founded on deceit, manipulation, power and control, abuse and violence. It revealed facts about my rights as a human being that no one ever bothered to remind me of when I was being humiliated and abused, forced into silence and subservience in order to stay alive. The book made me realize that I had indeed allowed myself to live in a glass case for the longest time, and that it was time to break free from the manipulation and the control and the abuse. I needed to be free from the violence. I needed to be free to experience peace. One gloomy day in July, I escaped with only the clothes on my back and what little money I had on me. Ironically, it was the hardest decision of my life because I had to leave my children with him in order to finally find myself. It was a heart-rending decision, torn between love for my children and admitting that I first had to love myself to become whole again. It took 2 years of struggling with priorities, searching for long-lost self-esteem, going back to school, and finally loving and believing in myself before I could finally face my children and face my abuser squarely in the eye. But only to be cut down once again, one more time, the very last time, on that fateful Christmas Eve in 2004, when I finally decided enough was enough. It was time to fight back, not only for myself, but for every other woman who had experienced time and again what I had gone through. Years of untold tears and fears, struggling against age-old norms, learning about and fighting for my rights, have finally brought me to where I am today. I am a victim no longer. I am now a proud survivor, a victor. I am free, and the freedom is invigorating because it envelopes my being in the confidence and spirit that I was blessed with in my younger years, and indeed that many others still take for granted. But it does not end there. More important than saving myself is the task of saving others who are experiencing or may experience what I had endured. I envision for women a world that is safe and free from violence of any form, whether from family or society. I envision young people armed with the knowledge of their rights in a relationship and caring enough about themselves to honor and uphold those rights. Together with a number of peace-loving women and men, many of whom have deep Louisian roots like me, I am privileged to reach out to embattled women and help them find a way out of the beds people claim they made and must sleep in. I now have restored faith in the innate goodness of each person. My calling, I believe, is to speak out for those who are afraid or not yet ready to speak for themselves, to make people aware about the reality of the violence that lurks in many of our homes, and to urge them to do something to stop violence at its roots. Save Our Women, the organization I founded in 2007, has had the honor of touching the lives of more than 200 female victim survivors of domestic and intimate relationship violence so far in Baguio City alone. Their myriad stories mirror mine. Their daily struggles are what inspire me to be one of the voices that hopefully would reawaken the humaneness in people, for them to understand that being a victim of relationship violence is not a crime. It is not shameful. It is not taboo. Relationship violence victims are not pariahs, nor should they be blamed for the violence and the abuse that they experience. Like me, like everyone else, they have rights. The right to speak and to be heard, the right to respect and dignity, the right to be loved, hugged, and feel warmth. The right to be understood, to heal and experience true justice, and more importantly, the right to non-violence and peace. Yes, simply said, the right to be free. This is a clarion call to please join me and the members and volunteers and friends of Save Our Women, like Mr. Ambassador here, in empowering the survivors and victors of domestic and intimate violence in your own small and very special ways. Only then would our world be a true place to live in. Thank you.